Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And this slideshow was posted during T-Mobile's Investor Day, during the T-Mobile for Business, or TFB as they call it now, presentation from Kali Field. And there's a lot of priority around T priority. And they're really trying to go big into the first responder segment. But this type of priority, this type of slicing, and the amount of spectrum that they have, they will also use that to their advantage as it pertains to just business overall. Small business, medium business, enterprise. They're going to attack that segment very hard over the next few years. So 2.5 times faster data speeds than AT&T and Verizon, up to 5 times the network resources of the average commercial user. Highest priority access on every single 5G band on the largest 5G network. Minimum service levels, even in times of extreme congestion. So she was really calling out FirstNet in this instant, right? From a perspective of the preemption, or whatever it's called, service, the priority service that Band 14 presents. She's saying that during times of emergencies, as data spikes like 100, she said she had made an example of like data spiking through an emergency event like 150%. She's saying Band 14 alone can't handle that. She says the 10 by 10, even if it's QCI 6 and priority and only first responders, if there's any extreme data use cases, Band 14 alone can't handle it. So she's also at the same time making a big case for this whole 4.9, right? If I'm AT&T, I'm clipping that. I'm screen recording that part of the presentation, and I'm presenting that to the FCC. Like, look, this is why we need 4.9. You're over here, these guys, T-Mobile and Verizon, are over here saying that the reason that 4.9 should not go to us is it should be made available to everyone. But yet they're over here making all these big claims that Band 14 can't handle any bigger data. This is why we need 4.9. And I still myself now believe that will go to AT&T. But she also took jabs at FirstNet for the SA core, right? She said maybe it'll come in the next few years, maybe by 2028. She's pretty much saying we have SA right now. We have it at scale. We have it on our low band, on our mid bands, you name it. She says we can provide it. Any use case, future use cases, anything right now that requires SA lower latency slicing, we can provide that today. And that's when she introduced T priority. T priority is all about the SA core and the slicing. And they got New York City. They got New York City. It's T-Mobile's flagship market in terms of networking. And they got those first responders on board. But like I said in the previous video, they got to be careful here, right? You have to make sure that you can provide the necessary resources for first responders. Not just the network. The network is, of course, the biggest piece, but you got to have redundancy. You got to have backup generators. You got to be able to provide a standard of excellence that far exceeds anything on the commercial network. And yes, you still want to provide a standard of excellence on the commercial network, but for a priority for first responders, it has to be optimized very well. You have to have that indoor coverage. I mean, there could be a person, I don't know, needing help on the 20th floor in a skyscraper and inside of an elevator. You got to be able to provide the data services any and everywhere. And I don't think T-Mobile is there today. I had a friend recently travel to New York, and he says indoors, T-Mobile still struggles. They still don't have the same amount of DAS systems as, say, Verizon. So they're still tilting macros up and down to try and cover these larger buildings. He said in some cases it does work. In other cases, he says the network is shot because it's trying to cover too much from the macro perspective. Now, they have a ton of macros, yes, but indoors, you're going to need some type of indoor solution at scale to really provide the standard of excellence that I speak of for the first responders. So I will close out this video by saying T-Priority is a huge next step for T-Mobile. They are able to provide access of priority on all of the 5G bands, not just one low band, right? It's low band, the mid bands, and that will give first responders a better experience from a capacity perspective. If a data use case is needed during an event of emergency and data is spiking, T-Mobile is saying they can handle it, right? We'll see. They're going to get first responders agencies. We got to come to the fact that T-Mobile is just good at being able to market and sell their products and services. They're good at it. They take share in the top 100 markets. They're starting to take share in small market and rural areas. They're taking share in enterprise, and they will start taking share in the first responder segment. They're just going to do it. You know, they're good at it. They know how to grow. They know how to execute properly. They're going to take share. We have to come to the fact that that's a reality. They're going to take share in that space. Now, what we can do, right, you as a consumer and me as a content creator, we can hold T-Mobile to that high standard, right? I can call them out like, hey, look, there's still a ton of sites without backup generators. There's still a good amount of sites that don't have fiber running to the cell, right? They're using microwave backhaul. There's still a lot of buildings that don't have that indoor solution that's required, I feel, to have that standard of excellence. So that's what I did, right? I did that in this video. I called them out. I'll do it again in several other videos until they have that fixed, right? There's underground subway stations that somebody could get hurt that they don't have service. It's just a reality today, but it's not as bad as it once was. So we have to look at it from both sides or both angles. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.